and welcome back to the Constitutionals Podcast. I'm your host, Chad White. If you didn't know, this is the premier podcast for website, cpluscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's a website. Go there. Welcome back in. Here we are, episode 389. Let's get started, because I didn't want to do this, and now I'm here. Post-yoga. Now I'm here. Welcome back in. I'll talk about this. This is funny. No, I'm not going to talk about this. That's my personal life. Anyway, welcome back in. I saw 2 movies this week. Why is it so hot? What's going on over here? Test. I saw 2 movies this week. Is that better? I saw 2 movies this week. The first one was on Tuesday night. I was desperate to see this one. This is the one I wanted to see so badly. Minions and Monsters, and it was the best. It's the best Despicable Me movie. It's single-handedly the best Despicable Me movie. I loved Minions and Monsters, although I do think it should have been called Minions at the Movies, because halfway through the movie is when the monsters are introduced. Like they hint at it, like 20 or 30 minutes in, and then finally at like the 40-minute mark, they bring in Trey Parker's, who's again cast in this film for the second time, Trey Parker's Goomy character. Also returning as a different character, Allison Janney. My question is, anyone could have played the Allison Janney part, so why bring in somebody who's already been in the movie before? Also, there's one person of color in the entire cast. It's Phil Lamar. Just saying. There were cameos in the credits from Gru, Dr. Nefario, and Agnes. Romesh Reganathan is technically in the cast, but all he does is scream once as Dr. Nefario. Remember, he places Russell Brand. Again, he replaced Russell Brand in Despicable Me 4 because he was frozen in, I assume, carbonite in Despicable Me 3. So he didn't have a speaking role, except for like a moan or a groan. And then in Despicable Me 4, he says one word, one sentence. Anyway, and then Steve Carell as Gru, he clears his throat and he makes like some noises, and that's pretty much it. But yeah, Minions and Monsters, it's so good. It was so funny. And this sounds stupid, but it's a love letter to movies. It's the same thing that Babylon is in its own special way. Pierre Coffin, either he's being paid a lot of money or because Pierre Coffin is he's the Minions. He's the guy who created the Minions. He directs, I believe, a majority of the Despicable Me movies. He directed 1, 2, 3, and 4. He also did Minions Rise of Gru, and Minions. Yeah. So, he didn't direct Minions Rise of Gru and 4, but he was involved as the Minions in all of them. Okay. Anyway, and he also wrote Minions and Monsters. Wow. See, that explains why this movie is so good. This guy is so tied to it. He was also an in-between artist for We're Back, a Dinosaur Story, which is a movie that I believe is on sale right now on digital storefronts on Vudu and iTunes, Apple TV. Anyway, Minions and Monsters is fantastic. I can't believe how good that movie is. And I love the Despicable Me franchise. I just rewatched every single... except for the first one, because I've seen the first one so many times. But I just rewatched 2 through 4 and both Minions movies. Not really in preparation for Minions and Monsters, truly just to watch something. I'm trying to watch more movies and shows that I own, because so many of my streaming platforms, I just opt to pay for the ad-supported version, and I grow tired of it. Right now, I'm currently watching The Shield. I just finished an episode of The Shield as I was doing yoga, and that show's great, but they throw in 2 minutes of ads for a show that's 20 years old. It's older than 20 years. On at least on Peacock, I just finished the new season of Ted. Yes, I sat down with the cast of Ted 8 months ago. No, I sat down with them in like February or March, and I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, it's a funny show, but and they only had like 60 seconds of ads. I'm thinking about watching. This is another cop show. I'm thinking about watching Homicide: Life on the Streets. I've seen a couple of episodes, but I also don't think that's going to be my workout show. Anyway, today I had a summer Friday at work, and I wanted to see two movies, and I could not see two movies because I had an appointment this morning. So I went on a date. It wasn't good. So I went to a movie at. When I say it wasn't good, it was not good. I went to a movie. I went to see The Invite, and that was directed by Olivia Wilde and written by Will McCormick and Rashida Jones. It stars Olivia, Seth Rogen, Penelope Cruz, and Edward Norton. If Penelope Cruz was not in the movie, I probably would not have seen the movie. I did not. I watched half a trailer for this movie. Also, I would not. It's a comedy. I guess it was a comedy. I watched half a trailer, and then I said I got it, and I don't remember when I watched the trailer, and then I saw this movie. Whatever you think is going to happen happens. It's a remake of the Spanish film The People Upstairs. So yeah, whatever you think is going to happen happens, and I think Seth and Olivia play a really really good couple, and Penelope Cruz and Edward Norton play a really good couple, and they all have to work in tandem with each other. Good fights. There's a lot of good fights between Seth and Olivia, and what else? It was an enjoyable movie. But again, whatever you think is going to happen, it happens. I'm surprised this is an A24 movie because it doesn't scream A24. Annapurna Pictures was a production company on it, and it does not scream Annapurna because I feel like, and this is an insult to every other A24 movie, this movie has more personality than a lot of their movies they put out. Without trying too hard. I'm looking at the list of movies that they've put out that try so hard. Spring Breakers, Moonlight. Although, I said most of their movies. I think Everything Everywhere All at Once is a real charmer. Friendship, Civil War. And the difference between me saying they try so hard and me not liking them is vast, okay? Because I like a lot of these movies. I did like Spring Breakers. I did like Moonlight. I did like, obviously I love Everything Everywhere All at Once. I liked The Whale. Would I ever watch The Whale again? Also, would I ever watch The Invite again? I went halfway through the movie, I went, oh no, like when they were introducing more elements, I went, oh, okay, I get it. Yeah, I'm not going to watch this again. I get the conversations, I get the jokes, I get all that stuff. But it's fine. The same thing with Civil War. I saw Civil War, and and did I see that in theaters? Oh goodness gracious! I watched too many movies. Yeah, I saw Civil War in theaters, and I went, yeah, I get it, I understand. Oh, that's right. Because it was loud, and it was at my favorite place. Not my favorite place. The idea was for me to go see Evil Dead Burn. Is that what it's called? At the at AMC, and then go to my local movie house to go see The Invite at 1. So I was going to do 10:30 and then 1. And then I got home from Trader Joe's, and it was like 10:20. And I could have hopped on my bike. It'd be a 10-minute bike ride, but quite frankly, I'm tired. I was so tired. And I said, fine, I'll just go see The Invite at AMC at 11:35. I got a burrito. I got this extra big burrito from a burrito shop, not local. It's a local chain. And then I rode on over. I arrived too early. I sat down, and the movie started 11:35. I sat down at 11:36. And if you don't think I was pissed watching those trailers, also there was a group of young women who if you don't know, obviously if you don't know, I sit up front. I like to sit one of the first three rows. I opted for the second row today, edge aisle seat. In case you want to murder me. And but you have to know when I go to the movies. And there were these women who were sitting with everybody else likes to sit in the higher ones, and the higher seats, I guess, and like sit in the middle. I could hear them talking the entire time of the trailers. Now, you may be like, that's fine. But in my head, I'm thinking, shut the fuck up. Church has started. And they're playing, and this is the 20 minutes of filler before the preacher comes up. Shut the fuck up. And I couldn't enjoy the first 5 minutes of the movie because they were ruining it. When I say talking, I mean full, as if the trailers were the problem. Just full. Yeah, I think no, it's just watch the movie. Watch the trailers, excuse me. And then finally, after an opening scene involving Seth Rogen biking back home, they stopped. Also, don't look at the Wikipedia page for the invite, because the first sentence of this entire thing just, I don't want to say the word spoil, but it does ruin elements that are revealed later in the movie. This entire first sentence for the invite just rips out all of the characteristics that are boiled down to one or two words for the actors. That's crazy. Anyway, it was good. I do not plan on watching it. I do want to mention the music. Blood Orange, Devontae Hines was the music person, and let me tell you, his music stands out. There's no words. It's all strings, and it's all the creepy horror strings, like the horror movie strings. The and the entire movie, every time a song, a musical note popped up, I went, "Oh, this is creepy. Something's about to happen." It's not that type of movie. All right, let's move on to this first topic I have here. The Emmy nominations were announced. Desi Gomez, Patrick Hypes, and Eric Peterson wrote up the list for Deadline. Mariska Hargitay is hosting the Emmys next week. Oh, also I want to talk one more thing. Next week I do plan on seeing Moana live action. I don't care what kind of reviews it's getting. Also, I never care about that shit anymore. I don't care about that shit anymore. Excuse me. I don't care that people think the wig on The Rock looks stupid. I'm going to explain this in a way that I explained it to somebody last night. I love Fast and Furious movies, but in particular, I love Fast and Furious 9. I know I've talked about this before, because there's a moment where Vin Diesel and Michelle it's Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel is about to swing his car from a rope bridge, swing his car like he's George of the Jungle. And Tyrese and Natalie and Ludacris and Michelle are all on top of this hill watching him about to do this. And if you look at the roster of that movie, yes, it's big, yes, it's bulbous, yes, it doesn't make sense, all this stuff, but also the top line people, the top build people are people of color. And when I see Moana live action, I feel the same thing I felt when Moana cartoon came out. It's a movie starring a bunch of colored people who would never usually be cast in roles. Just look at the trailers that played for the movie, before the movie, what's it called? The Invite. One movie was like, I Want Your Sex or some bullshit like that. Every single person that was top lining in those movies was a white guy and a white woman. I want to see more people of color in these movies. Unless a movie or TV show has a line, "Get your pretty white ass over here." I don't want to see that. I don't want to see anything else. Let's see. I'm trying to click through to see what trailers were for more trailer invite. I don't remember what trailers were with this movie. I don't know, just like a bunch of bullshit. All right, let's get on with it. Mariska Hargitay is hosting. It's a win-lose situation. She's the first woman to host in 15 years, but also she's not a comedy person. I don't know why she's doing this. The most nominated shows are The Pit, Hacks, and Widow's Bay. I only like one of those shows. Then Pluribus is up. Oh, Beef is up for 16. My goodness. DTF St. Louis. Just like not a lot of diversity there. Anyway, we're moving on down. Oh, and Taylor Swift, The Eras Tour, the final show, has 5. Okay. And Wicked, One Wonderful Night, has 6? Jesus. I guess we're really stretching here. The Muppet Show has 6. Okay. Mel Brooks, the 99-year-old man. Yeah, that was a really good one. Ugh, Love Story? I don't want to watch that bullshit. Okay. HBO Max leads with 122, Netflix 111, and then the steep drop off from there. It's Apple TV, ABC, CBS, NBC, Prime Video. Okay. Oh, Fox Broadcasting only has 3. Wow, PBS has more than Fox Broadcasting. That's what happens when you only have reality shows. Speaking of, now I'll get to that in a second. Boy, it's all of these shows are pretty much the archetypal shows that you would think would be nominated. I'm not going to go through everything, but Paradise is nominated, but The Pit's going to win. It doesn't matter. Pluribus is nominated, but The Pit's going to win. Your Friends and Neighbors is nominated for this is all outstanding drama. This is all stuff I knew was going to happen. Who cares? Outstanding lead actor, Sterling K. Also, I didn't know Task was in the same universe as Mayor of Easttown. The second season of Task is going to involve Mayor of Easttown. She's coming back. Outstanding comedy series. Well, this is a comedy-ish show. Abbott Elementary, The Bear, Hacks. I think Hacks fucking blows. Margot's Got Money Troubles. Speaking of shows without people of color, Margot's Got Money Troubles and Hacks. Speaking of shows without people of color, nobody wants this. And Only Murders in the Building. And Shrinking. Shrinking and Widow's Bay. Is Widow's Bay a comedy? Again, I've never seen it. The only show on here that I like is The Bear. I think Abbott Elementary is fine. I've never wanted to rush through a comedy so quickly in my life. Also, Christopher's Story, I just finished The Bear season 5, the final season. It was great. I enjoyed it. I loved it so much. There were no needle drops, which is so funny. In my head, when I finished it, Sunday, I think? I don't remember. I finished it at some point earlier this week, and in my head, I was thinking, they ran out of money. Either that, or I guess they just wanted to. He just wanted to keep it contained because it all takes place in one day, which is a great constraint because that's the same thing that I like. That's what How I Met Your Mother did for their last season. It all took place in 3 days, and I think that's fun. I enjoyed the final season, and also Christopher Story. It's like. He heard people complaining about it not being funny, and there's so many more jokes in season 5. Although I do think that show is funny. You look at Atlanta. Atlanta's not funny. I stopped watching that show halfway through. I still think Hacks sucks, and I will go to my grave saying that. I watched the first season, and it just was not for me. There's a friggin' fruit fly or something. I killed the biggest mosquito in the bathroom. Has been flying around the house for a couple of days, and yesterday I was brushing my teeth or putting on my contacts or something like that, and I saw this giant, just like black bug, and I looked and I went, "Oh my god, it's a mosquito," and I killed it, and then I thought I should eat it so I can get my blood back. All right, let's do one more. The Outstanding Limited or Anthology Series, All Her Fault. What is that one? What is All Her Fault? Let's Google. Don't ask Gemini. Oh, with my beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Sarah Snook. The Beast in Me. What the fuck is that? Beef, DTF St. Louis. What are the rules? Are that for a limited series? This is limited or anthology. Okay, never mind. Because Beef is an anthology series. Look at all the producers also for Beef include Oscar Isaac, Carey Mulligan, Callie Spiney, Charles Melton. How are Stephen? Stephen Young was in the first season. That's fucking ridiculous. Oh, Carrie Kemper. That's the Ellie Kemper's sister. All right, we're done. I'm done with the Emmys. Moving on. This one comes from The Wrap, written by Lori Seitz. Netflix looks into live channels streaming bundles amid engagement declines. One of the, I guess the biggest complaints about Netflix is that there's just too much. And then also they don't support their shows. There's a lot of shows that just don't have second seasons. There was a piece I think The Wrap did earlier this week about why shows don't get second seasons. But a lot of it is that we don't know, and what we can assume from it is that these shows aren't hitting these imaginary numbers. I've spoken about this before. They're the latest show to get the axe, even though the critics loved it, audiences loved it. It's very buzzy. The Burrows on Netflix, starring Alfie Woodard. Oh Jesus, I don't know. That I've never seen it. They call it now. Google's calling it a miniseries. Gina Davis, Alfred Molina, Bill Pullman. It's whatever numbers they want these shows and these movies to hit is beyond me. Like they have to be more outward facing. I wouldn't care if I had a show or a movie on Netflix. I would rather you give me notes on a show or a movie that I'm working on, as opposed to what Netflix is famous for is not giving notes. Like, oh, you do whatever you want. That's fine. Go ahead, do it. Yeah, we love it. Unless something will mess with their bottom line, then you can't say something obviously harmful to the company. But I would rather have notes. I would rather have a company be like, hey, we want you to do this. We suggest you to do this. And then for me to decide whether or not it needs to happen versus letting me do whatever I want, because maybe my ideas aren't that good and we need a counterpoint to it for a second. And it's just a frustrating thing to see, to have all these shows be canceled, or to have, Zack Snyder's movies what was it? Moon. God, what is it called? Zack Snyder, Rebel Moon. That's it. I wanted to see Rebel. I watched the Rebel Moon movies, and yes, they were not good, but I would, if somebody stepped in and said, hey, maybe not, then it would have been better. I do like Zack Snyder. I don't care. I love him. I think he's good. I like Batman v Superman extended edition, and I like his Justice League. All right. Netflix executives have discussed the idea of adding themed live channels that would stream shows or films of a certain genre, according to Wall Street Journal. Should the streamer move forward, the feature would replicate their linear TV, the linear TV model that Netflix revolutionized with streaming 15 years ago. Remember, they said they weren't interested in live at all, but this is something that Peacock, Paramount Plus, Disney Plus, and HBO Max have started doing. Well, excuse me, the first three have been doing them since their inceptions, I think. HBO Max just started live-ish channels where, on HBO Max they'll have like Friends, the one with the duck, and then that'll be playing. But in reality, when you click on that channel, it'll just start that episode of the show, that's what Peacock does, and I'm not a fan of it. If something's live, let me just put it on live, and then I can join in. Like The Simpsons on Disney Plus, I turn on that live channel every single day. The Journal also reported that Netflix is exploring bundling other streaming subscriptions, including Peacock, into its service, leaning into an add-on strategy that Prime Video and Apple TV have already embraced. Peacock is one of the most add-on uh, platforms. I'm trying to put this in a better way. It's now a platform that you can now access pretty much everywhere. Uh, you can go to Peacock and get Peacock itself, or you can go to Apple TV, which is its fairly new streaming partner. And if anything, I would say NBC Universal would sell Peacock to. Remember, they spun off last week, but I would say that NBC Universal would sell Peacock to Apple TV if they wanted. And then Prime Video, which has always been a channel-based thing besides having its own video platform. And now you can also get Peacock on YouTube, which is something if you want to do, then you can do it. Netflix saw some viewership downticks for its biggest shows, including the second season of the Four Seasons, the second season of Avatar: The Last Airbender, Running Point, One Piece, and Beef. Each of those series saw its audience decline in their second season. I would think that a problem with the numbers, churning down, is that in terms of shows like, I don't watch One Piece, but I'm going to bundle it in with Beef. In terms of One Piece and Beef, I'm a guy who works in the industry, and I'm very tapped in, as the kids say, to what's what popular shows are happening and when they're coming back. I had no idea that Beef came back until like a couple of days after it premiered. Same thing for One Piece. If you have One Piece and Avatar: The Last Airbender, let's do a giant ad campaign. And maybe they did, but maybe they was like all very targeted. I like Avatar. I don't watch the live action. I like Avatar the cartoon, but again, it did not. I feel like the marketing did not get ramped up until like a week before it was being advertised, and only then It's mostly because of the animated movie that was leaked earlier this year. Paramount decided to unfortunately put it on Paramount Plus instead of putting it in theaters in October. So we're putting it on Paramount Plus, I believe, in like 2 months, which is stupid. Even if the movie leaked, just put it in theaters. Put it in theaters. And if people didn't like it because people who stole the movie are reviewing it, just whatever. Anyway, and then for Running Point, they did horrible advertising for us. And I would say the same thing for Four Seasons. Both of those shows in their second seasons only came to light to viewers because of these actors appearing on late night shows. Bundling and live channels would only represent the latest format addition that Netflix implements to stir audience engagement. In recent years, they've done live programming. We've got the live sports. Remember, they said they would never do that stuff, and then they started doing it. Licensed video podcasts, which have ruined the app. I think every single time I go into Netflix, it's a chore. This is why I use IMDb to track what I'm watching, because I only want to go to Netflix now. I never scroll around anymore. I just want to go and say, I'm watching Pokemon Horizon. Let me see Pokemon Horizon. I'm watching Splinter Cell, the cartoon. Let me see that. Don't show me anything else. I don't give a shit about anything else. They've also embraced social media creators, along with launching a cheaper ad-supported subscription tier in 2022. One day I'm going to review all the subscription tiers, and they're all going to get bad points. But this is why I like Apple TV. And then watch next week they do subscription tiers. So they've found the success with the roasts, and they have this creator-driven shows with like Ms. Rachel, and they're also going to do, and as Hollywood as a whole is going to be embracing creators. This is what we're going to be in for, as opposed to people who can actually make shows and movies. If Netflix pulled back and really just started engaging with making quality shows and movies, scaling down, it doesn't have to be a negative. But in the end, they have to. They're the leader, and the way that they stay on top is by just, again, as I've described it many times, throwing paint at the wall. But now, as I go to Netflix, the website, thanks for the Emmy nominations. Thanks to the Emmy nominations, you see the Emmy, if you're watching the video, I'm showing it. You see that the Emmy nominated shows are on the banners, which is good. But then again, I've never seen Enola Holmes. Why are you offering me your next watch, Enola Holmes 3? If anything, do the first one. You know, that it's just so, it's also different. Like, let's look at other banner stuff. Because my next watch is nothing good. Come on. I can't even skip through the next banner. All right. Mating Season. That's a show. I'm on episode, 3? Jesus Christ. I think I don't like Nick Kroll's shows. The podcast stuff is just, it's too much. Did I watch Frank Helda? No, it's in my list. Okay. And then the games and stuff. Ugh. They have been advertising the living hell out of the new show, The Hawk. I think that's what it's called, with Will Ferrell. And they've been advertising it at golf stuff. And since I watch a lot of golf, it's just ridiculous to see. Okay, and finally, this comes from the New York Times. Wikipedia is battling for the soul of the internet. It's written by Tiffany Sue. I go to Wikipedia a lot, that's how I look at who's the cast of a movie. And right now, you'll usually see their you'll see their campaigns for getting donations. And right now, the last couple of donations, rather, have been the most stark, because Trump's people are just trying to take down Wikipedia because they're saying it is too woke. It's and Elon Musk wants to make his grok and artificial intelligence the main thing. Wikipedia has been around for a little over 25 years, and the organization that supports the site, the Wikimedia Foundation, is increasing its lobbying budget and advertising in Times Square. It's charging companies like Google and Meta that gobble up the encyclopedia 65 million articles and throttling access for certain scrapers, and it's expanding its human rights team to better protect volunteers against rising harassment, surveillance, and retaliation. I remember in what the hell is that? Oh, I'm watching PBS NewsHour. I remember when I was in high school and we were writing papers, teachers would always be like, don't use Wikipedia, it's all fake. But no, this is a very serious company. And yes, while users can change information, it's all going to be fact checked. So it's not like fake things are living on there. Again, they have 65 million articles. So yes, there's some false stuff living on there, whether it's big or whether it's small. But it doesn't have to it is not necessarily not big. Sorry, excuse me. Whether it's small or a little bit bigger than small, it doesn't necessarily mean that it is definitely the truth when it comes to all that. Sorry, I was looking at something. Now, the Bernadette Meehan, Wikimedia's chief executive, as of January, who previously worked as the U.S. ambassador to Chile and at the Obama Foundation, at the State Department, and at the National Security Council and on Wall Street. She said she will not say Wikipedia is at war, not after she spent much of 2007 in Iraq, an actual war zone where she witnessed, quote, the supreme cruelty of human beings. But she accepts that the site is at a metaphorical battle for its very existence. She's 50? Oh, she looks good. The fight, again, is with the far right. Thank you for that subhead. As I mentioned before, Elon Musk has said Wikipedia is wokepedia, and it's a, quote, extension of legacy media propaganda. He's not a fan of his Wikipedia entry, and he's urged his followers to withhold donations over the foundation's diversity initiatives. Other people who don't like Wikipedia's ideological lean, that we still don't exactly know, even though the right says it's liberal, even though it's an encyclopedia, it doesn't lean any which way. Ted Cruz, David Sachs, and Tucker Carlson. You know, great people. Just such wonderful people. And Larry Sanger, who founded Wikipedia with Jimmy Wales in 2001. Last year, a Trump administration official made inquiries into the nonprofit's tax-exempt status. A Republican-led Congressional Oversight Committee initiated an investigation in August, demanding that Wikipedia identify certain editors and produce any evidence of influence from foreign operatives or academic institutions. The foundation said it responded to both last year, to inquests last year, and no updates. I swear, I can put. I'm gonna take a little pause from this. I understand that I could put apple cider vinegar or whatever in a little dish and this bug will fly over. But if I put anything down anywhere, this cat's going to eat it. Now, in order to de-escalate all of this that's happening, the Wiki team are trying to address misconceptions about the site. Wikipedia is largely decentralized, with independent contributors distilling facts through open debate and agreement. Elected arbitration committees handle dispute resolution. The foundation, with a budget of $208.6 million and about 600 employees and contractors, that's so a lot. That's a lot. That's so lot. Excuse me. The foundation provides servers and funding, but steers clear of content decisions. Again, it's people like you and me writing in what we read, heard, or saw. I just this is the current administration trying to control the information that's out there. Again, this is a political hit job, and unfortunately, it's going to keep happening because this is what we are dealing with at this point in time. All these detractions that are meant to run our what we see and what we read. We don't need to preach. We don't need to teach the Bible in school. We don't need to pray in school. Just let kids learn. Teach them about the things that have happened. Don't hide things. Right now I'm listening because I wanted to get the audiobook. I saw the book. A friend suggested several months ago. He was reading at the gym on a bike. What's it called? What's the book? The People's History of the United States, written by Howard Zinn. I saw him reading it. It was just this big thing, and he reads like 100 books a year. And he's strong as shit, which is crazy. But he was reading it, and I went and I asked him about it, and then we talked, and then I went, okay, I'm gonna get this book. So I went to my Hoopla, and now Hoopla, unfortunately, I didn't know this. Libraries pay to use Hoopla, so the audiobooks, the ebooks, the comics, all those, the TV shows, the movies, they pay obviously to access that stuff, but. We went from being able to get 10 a month to 5 now. Anyway, I used one of my 5 this month to get that book, and I'm learning about the People's History of the United States. It's good. I'm also listening to Heat 2. I bought that audiobook with money because I wanted it so bad. I watched Heat a couple of weeks ago, and then I started listening to Heat 2, and oh my God, the audiobook guy is fantastic. I'm not joking. He's so good. He does an Al Pacino, and he also does Asian people, and he does. It's so funny. He did once he starts doing Chinese characters. I'm like, whoa, we let this out. Wikipedia is knowledge for everybody. I don't know why this is. Well, I do know why, but we should not be fighting. This is not great for the world. I didn't want this to be this long, but here it is. I'm done. Listen, if you like what you heard here, head to the website, cpluscomedy.com, where you can see me talk to famous people sometimes. I just put out an interview with Arj Barker from Flight of the Conchords. It was a long, thought-provoking, and engaging conversation about comedy, about life, about optimism, about hope, about everything. If you watch the video, I do apologize, and also in the audio, there's a lot of we had a couple of interruptions on both ends, and I had to do some editing in order to make this stuff work and flow together, and I fully expect the Trump administration to sue me because I edited. So watch the video version of that on youtube.com/cpluscomedy. Oh God, I started the music. There's going to be a smooth transition in the music, and I did it wrong. Watch the video version of that interview on youtube.com/cpluscomedy, as well as the other video versions of the other interviews under the show, not TV show, under the show, the interviews. Listen, also on youtube.com/cpluscomedy, you can see the video version of this show, as well as the other podcast, Late Night Show, which has got a monologue now, and LinkedIn Logs, the Jobs and Business News podcast, youtube.com/cpluscomedy. Subscribe to the shows where your podcast. Follow us on social media, YouTube, Instagram, Blue Sky, TikTok, @cpluscomedy, me on those platforms, @ChadBlackWhite. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time. Bye.